Wouldn't mind spending those few minutes just on charge out rates for everyone's benefit. So could you, Jamie, just quickly run through either that tab or any insights into determining charge out rates?
Yeah, well, I mean, I sort of probably come back to that rule of thumb I said earlier, a third, a third, a third, but it's a bit more, there's a bit more to it than that. But, you know, charge out rate is, you know, what, if you get some work done, whether it's bookkeeping work or accounting work or tax consulting, whatever it, you want to ask the question is, well, what is the market value for that type of work? And so I remember years ago, I used to ring around in my local town of Ballarat. I'd ring around and find out what people were charging for, you know, individual tax returns, because I'd want to find out what every other firm is charging. So, you know, some firms were obviously more expensive, and some firms were less expensive. So the charge out rate it's not an exact science, but it's a determination of, you know, what the market is charging for a particular type of work. So there's bookkeeping work, for example, and then there's, you know, tax preparation work. So part of that process, Brenton, is the market value that's set for that for that type of work, and then once you've sort of determined that, it's then really important on your teams to have the right resource mix. And what we mean by that is literally what we've got on the screen. We've got a senior client manager who you can see there is, you can see what their salary is, right? So again, that's what their salary is. And so what you don't really want is having the wrong people on your team doing the wrong type of work. So you don't really want your senior client manager doing some bookkeeping when you can only charge that out and recoup it or bill it at, say, you know, $60 an hour, but that person's you know, that person's cost per hour is like $70 an hour. So you've got to have the resource mix right. Try and get the right people on your team, and appreciate when you're small and as you grow, you have to sort of put people in the right seats, but you want to try and get the right people doing the right type of work, Brenton. That's really important. And often that can be a struggle for some accountants because they want to do everything and they don't want to let go. You know, they don't want to let go of doing that type of work. But the only way I've ever found I can influence people is by showing them the results, which is why I always show the senior client managers the Fab5, the 5 key performance indicators, because when you look at the KPIs, it'll just tell you exactly in seconds, literally, what's happening in that team. So, so charge out rate, yeah, Ed might be able to explain